Thank you for hosting this event, and thank you candidate colleagues for coming out and creating this conversation, and thank you especially for your very valuable time on a beautiful fall evening. My name again is Tamela Friesen. I am running for my neighbors living in Regina-Lewvan under the banner of the Green Party. The reason I chose to run happened when I figured out that public policy is created and therefore we can recreate it, but further that public policy sometimes benefits me at the expense of my neighbor. And I just want to tell a little story to illustrate that. I was working in an employment finding club, facilitating this job finding club for individuals who were chronically under or unemployed. And that's where I met neighbors who were not like myself. Neighbors who I wouldn't normally meet, because normally we hang out with people that we feel most comfortable with, who usually tend to agree with a lot of what we say. This opportunity, I was able to learn just what public policy does for some and not for others. There was one particularly young woman who had a toddler who worked very hard to find a job, and lo and behold, she did. She found a job placement. And we were a government-run club, and so we had money for childcare. We could afford a private childcare spot, or public, or subsidized, or not subsidized. We had enough money to cover her job placement for her toddler. We called every single facility in the city, and there was not one space, not even for respite, not for anything. And so her choice, as a single mom on social assistance, was abandon my toddler and go to work and reap the consequences of that, or forget the job, stay home with the toddler, and stay on social assistance, and that's not fair. And meeting Shelley and her toddler and seeing that and realizing that I can access things like income splitting, I can access the TFSA account. It's like I'm getting a second portion at a fall supper before my neighbor has had their first full portion. And I asked myself, is it okay with me if my life is fine, but my neighbor's life is not fine? And further, is it okay if my life is fine because public policy benefits me more often than my neighbor? And it's not okay. So again, I say public policy is created. It's a community effort. I want to hear from the people of Regina-Lewvan all the time so that I know what my neighbors' concerns are, so we can recreate public policy that serves each and every one of us to the best of our ability. Thank you.